It is my pleasure to present the State of the Village Report for 2020. I would like to begin by recognizing my fellow Village Board members. Marie Schmidt, Village Clerk, Sharon Sullivan, Deputy Mayor and District 2 Trustee, Bill Schmidt, District 1 Trustee, Michael Light, District 3 Trustee, Pat Meritato, District 4 Trustee, Chester Pojak, District 5 Trustee, and Mary Schroeder, District 6 Trustee. As we look back at 2020, we will remember the many challenges that faced the village of Glendale Heights. It was a year that taught us many lessons as we faced a global pandemic that tested the village of Glendale Heights, our state, our nation, and the entire planet. However, I do believe it was a year of growth, togetherness, and perseverance like we have never seen before. It made me proud of our community as we stood true to being a proud and progressive village for all people. The Finance Department is charged with these primary responsibilities: maintaining the financial records of the village, providing for the safeguarding of assets, billing of water and sewer services, and management of the village's purchasing functions. An examination of the fiscal year 2020 audit information compared to 2019 reveals that the value of total village assets increased to $177 million from $169 million. Total revenues grew from $52 million in fiscal year 2019 to $54 million in fiscal year 2020, despite the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, which began negatively affecting village finances in March of 2020. Additionally, for the fiscal year 2020, the village's general fund finished the year with a fund balance level of $11.1 million, which exceeds both the level recommended by the Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA, and the amount established by village policy. Regarding water billing and consumption statistics, the village billed 751.5 million gallons of water in fiscal year 2020. This represented a decline from the previous year's billing of 760.2 million gallons. Each year, around 106,000 individual water bills are issued from this division. One major achievement involving the water billing division was the replacement of approximately 8,900 water meters and meter reading devices throughout the entire village. These new water meters are not only replacing 20-year-old devices, but also provide operational efficiencies for reading the meters with a few mouse clicks rather than having employees traverse the village in vehicles. The purchasing division processed a total of 58 bids in fiscal year 2020. The bid process ensures the village is paying the most competitive price from the most responsible bidders for commodities, leases, rentals, and construction projects. Annual budget preparation for fiscal year 2020 through 2021 began prior to the onset of the pandemic. By the time the final appropriation ordinance was passed, there was enormous uncertainty due to the stay-at-home orders issued by Governor Pritzker. Financial experts suggested that the economy was entering a deep recession, which was unprecedented in its sudden onset, and forecasts were mixed as to the duration of the downturn. Village staff immediately began implementing cost control measures to ensure the village would be able to operate during the projected economic downturn, without severely impacting reserves. These measures included hiring freezes, project cutbacks, and purchasing delays. As the virus continues with the threats of new variants, a slow vaccine rollout, and continued economic pressures on our small businesses, the village will continue to proceed cautiously with forecasting revenues and, as always, continue to closely monitor expenses. Several potential significant events could take place in the upcoming year that will put pressures on the financial resources of the village. Among these are income tax, local government distributive funds reductions from the state, sales tax holdback from the state, potential ramifications of not increasing the tax levy for 4 years, lack of additional federal coronavirus stimulus, additional stay-at-home restrictions, increases in medical insurance premiums, and union negotiations with all 5 bargaining units in the village. The village depends on major revenues such as sales and home rule sales tax to support the level of services expected by residents and businesses within the village. Sales tax alone makes up 31% of the village's total general fund revenue budget. Thanks to the tireless and continued efforts to encourage economic development and a diverse mixture of sales tax generating businesses such as automobile dealerships, grocery stores, big box home improvement stores, and a large medical equipment supplier, sales tax revenues have grown by nearly 25% since fiscal year 2015. For the 4th straight year, the village did not seek an increase in the property tax levy, keeping a promise from the village board to protect the public's pocketbook. Overall, the village's share of property taxes amounts to less than 11% of a homeowner's total property tax burden and 14.8% of the village's total annual budget. On June 5, 2020, the village was recognized by the GFOA with the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for its fiscal year 2019 through 2020 budget document. This marks the 7th consecutive year in which the village has received this recognition. The award signifies a commitment by the village for its budget document to meet program criteria and excel as a policy document, financial plan, operations guide, and communication tool. It also shows the village's commitment to transparency in how it utilizes taxpayer funds. On April 27, 2020, the GFOA awarded the village with the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for its 2019 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, CAFR. This is the 37th consecutive year in which the village has received this award. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting. Both the budget and CAFR documents can be found on the village's website. The GFOA has established a code of ethics, and as finance officials, our finance department commit to these core values: integrity and honesty, producing results for our community, treating people fairly, diversity and inclusion, and reliability and consistency. Our police department employs a combined staff of 93 personnel, including 55 sworn police officers, 5 part-time officers, 4 community service officers, records clerks, crossing guards, a community outreach specialist, and an evidence officer. The department also employs a strong volunteer pool of 18 individuals who are members of the Emergency Services and Disaster Agency, ESDA. I am very proud the village's police department continues to maintain the Commission on Accreditation of Law Enforcement Agencies, Kalia Accreditation. In 2020, the police department earned 100% compliance with all Kalia standards. Only a small percentage of all police departments across the country have earned this recognition. The police department earned their first accreditation in 2008 and was most recently reaccredited for the third time in 2017. We will be seeking our fourth accreditation in 2021. Our police department is one of fewer than 750 law enforcement agencies throughout the country that has earned Kalia accreditation status. Kalia's standards are rigorous and ensure the department is following best practices in law enforcement. Part of the Kalia standards require the police department to review each incident in which force is used, ensuring that our officers are using the appropriate response for the situation and within legal parameters. Kalia standards also ensure that citizen complaints are investigated thoroughly and in a timely manner. The police department is dedicated to its mission in working with the community to continue building relationships and trust. In 2020, the police department helped organize and participate in many events for all ages to continue to build relationships throughout the community. For over 25 years, the police department has held week-long classes at Safety Town for children 5 to 7 years of age. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the guidance provided by the Illinois Department of Public Health, the department was unable to host this class in 2020. However, as new guidance and safety protocols became available, the police department was able to host the 13th Annual Junior Police Academy for children in grades 5 through 8. The police department limited the academy to 15 participants, and each participant agreed to maintain personal protective measures. The participants experienced various aspects of police work, from the initial testing process to evidence processing, traffic stops, and officer safety skills. This year was a unique year for our school resource officers and community events. The Glendale Heights Police Department is proud to have the ability to allocate one school resource officer to school districts 15, 16, and 87, where the majority of our students from Glendale Heights attend. The police department is committed to school safety and maintaining strong relationships with our students. The COVID-19 pandemic has presented numerous challenges for our school resource officers. However, they continued their duties and worked with their respective school districts, working within the hybrid learning environment. Our school resource officers worked with the districts to continue teaching a virtual drug abuse resistance education, DARE, program, and concluded the program with a graduation conducted via Zoom. School resource officers also worked in partnership with the school districts to ensure the school food drives continued smoothly and to make sure each family was provided their daily and weekly meals. The school resource officers also conducted birthday drive-by events for school-aged children, trying to bring some normalcy to an abnormal school year. The Glendale Heights Police Department school resource officers are eagerly awaiting the start of in-person learning so they can continue their positive relationships with the students. The police department also strives to keep our residents informed of the important crime prevention tips by sponsoring monthly neighborhood watch meetings and newsletters. In 2020, the police department was limited to hosting only a few neighborhood watch meetings because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But we look forward to returning to a semi-normal schedule sometime in 2021. The police department continued to provide training to local businesses and places of worship on active violence awareness. This training provides employees and citizens options if a violent event occurs within their vicinity. The police department again raised several $1,000s for the Illinois Special Olympics. Several officers sought donations and participated in the polar plunge and a no-shave initiative during the winter months to help raise funds for the Illinois Special Olympics. The police department hosted the 22nd Annual National Night Out on October 6th as all COVID-19 protocols were followed. The event was held on the Village of Glendale Heights Civic Center campus, and residents were offered free food and games. National Night Out is held to raise crime and drug prevention awareness and strengthen our police and community partnerships. We want to thank the many other community groups who helped make this event a huge success. The police department and its Emergency Services and Disaster Agency, ESDA, conducted intruder drills with all schools in the village. The village also renewed an agreement with Milton Township Community Emergency Response Team, CERT, to help train new CERT members and provide ongoing training for current members. Joining forces with Milton Township CERT allows the village to tap into their extensive volunteer pool of over 1,000 CERT members in the event of an emergency. The Glendale Heights Police Department maintains transparency by sharing crime statistics with residents. In March of each year, the police department publishes an annual report. This report provides residents with a detailed breakdown of the previous year's crime statistics. The report is available for viewing on the police department's page of the village website. The Community Development Department is charged with protecting property values by ensuring compliance with building codes and property maintenance codes. The department is also responsible for encouraging economic development within the village. In 2020, the Community Development Department continued to provide the same high level of service during the COVID-19 pandemic as it has done in the past, and initiated new programs to enhance customer service while prioritizing safety. In order to assist the public in their efforts to perform construction, operate their businesses, sell their homes, and maintain their properties, the Community Development Department established a system to accept applications and payments online. A drop box was also provided for the public to drop off information if they did not want to conduct business electronically. This allowed the public to continue to do business without needing to come into Village Hall. Along with the remainder of village staff, the Community Development Department staff continued to work through the pandemic and did not close. Staff continued to conduct inspections, perform office duties, and conduct meetings in person when possible or remotely if required. Economic development continues to be a priority for the Village of Glendale Heights. Supporting our businesses and encouraging new development helps bring and keep jobs in the village, lowers the tax burden on all residents, and gives residents more options to shop and eat locally. While we continued to encourage new development and helped new businesses open, the village also assisted our existing businesses in their efforts to remain open through the pandemic. Village staff worked with our existing restaurants and bars to design and create outdoor dining options, provide protective barriers, provide safety information, and answer questions as they worked to maintain their businesses. The Community Development Department worked with several developers and businesses in 2020 to open new businesses and construct new developments. The Plan Commission conducted public hearings in person or whenever necessary, remotely, to ensure that development proposals were still able to move forward. The public had an opportunity to review proposals and participate either in person or online. The village board and I then made a final determination on each proposal. 3 new industrial businesses, including Backyard Storage Solutions, Western Specialty Contractors, and Nexius Solutions, were approved and opened, and a swim school was approved but is not yet opened. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the village welcomed a number of new businesses in 2020. I want to thank the following businesses for opening their doors to the Glendale Heights community: Accounting, Insurance, and Tax Services, Armel African Hair Braiding, Augustine Hair Design, Backyard Storage Solutions, LLC, Beauty from Within Spa, LLC, Blossom Group, LLC, Climate Pros, Incorporated, Coda Resources, Express Medical Testing, F.I. Reinschreiber and Associates, Ltd., G.H. Pizzas, Incorporated, Glenbard Northern Community Transition Site, GTC Logistics and Sinlac Properties, LLC, Haynes Companies, Incorporated, HDP Investments, Incorporated, IVM Chemicals, Incorporated, Karachi Dhaba, Kihi Distributors, LLC, Metro by T-Mobile, Mu Depot Mobile, Nexius Solutions, Pat's Hair Studio, Popeye's Chicken, Premier Packaging, LLC, Priority Wrecker Service, Incorporated, Rhino Distribution, Sys Electrical Low Voltage Solutions, Incorporated, and Western Specialty Contractors. Over the past several years, the village has worked to address an area along Army Trail Road that includes significant outdoor truck storage on unpaved surfaces and other uses that have negatively impacted the surrounding neighborhood. The village fought a number of court battles and had many meetings with neighbors to keep them up to date on the efforts. In late 2020, the village received a proposal to redevelop the area, and the Plan Commission considered the redevelopment of this 20-acre area on the south side of Army Trail Road at Calvary Drive. The proposed project would allow for the development of 2 multi-tenant business park buildings. The village board and I will consider the proposal in early 2021. Significant activity also continued to occur along North Avenue. Coda Resources obtained occupancy of the entire 180,000 square foot industrial building at 990 East North Avenue, bringing over 125 jobs to the community. ML Realty completed construction of a 116,000 square foot flex space building at 760 East North Avenue and began to market the building. Venture One also completed the construction of a 150,000 square foot building at 1 East North Avenue and is also marketing the building. In addition to promoting economic development activity, the Community Development Department also monitors existing property in the village to help protect and improve property values as well as the safety of its residents. Staff identifies property maintenance violations, licenses and inspects rental property, conducts real estate transfer inspections, responds to resident complaints, acts as a liaison to the Plan Commission and Property Enhancement Committee, processes business licenses, video gaming licenses, and entertainment permits, ensures compliance with the stormwater management requirements, and conducts a variety of other duties. The Community Development Department reviews and issues new business applications and coordinates the reviews with the fire districts, police department, and public works department. In 2020, the Community Development Department also processed business license renewals for the 522 businesses within the village. In 2020, the Community Development Department received 3,044 building permit applications for industrial, commercial, and residential construction, down slightly from the 3,091 that were received in 2019 in spite of the pandemic. Staff reviewed the permit applications and conducted inspections to verify that work performed complies with the National Building Code standards and ensures safe structures. The department also issued 41 permits to utility companies to conduct work in the public right-of-way. The village issued licenses to 1,480 single-family home rental properties and 3,757 multifamily units in 2020. Staff works with the property owners and tenants to ensure that the rental units are properly maintained through the licensing and inspection process, as well as the Crime Prevention Partnership Program. Through this program, the village provides property owners and tenants information about their rights and obligations to comply with the law. This program is important to deter crime and help protect property values in the community. Community Development Department staff also works with the residents, developers, and contractors to provide information and assist with zoning, building, and flooding questions. The department responded to approximately 414 Freedom of Information Act requests in 2020. It also provided zoning verification letters and floodplain information to property owners upon request. Staff assists residents with flooding problems and minimizing floodplain insurance requirements. Staff responds to service requests from residents, identifies property that is not properly maintained, and contacts owners to request that violations be addressed. Although the majority of property owners address violations, if not addressed, staff issues citations to require that property be properly maintained. Staff also works with management companies and homeowner associations to ensure that common areas and buildings are properly maintained. In 2020, local road infrastructure was improved throughout the village as part of the in-house road program overlaying Roland Drive, Chaucer Lane, and Bloomingdale Court. The program involved the removal and replacement of deteriorated and structurally damaged curbs and sidewalks, along with base repairs to the roadway before the new asphalt surface layer was applied. The in-house road program undertook the repaving of over 4,160 square yards of surface roadway and the replacement of 300 linear feet of curb and 2,800 square feet of sidewalk. The sidewalk removal and replacement project was undertaken on 3 streets in the village. The purpose of the project was to replace structurally damaged and hazardous sidewalks. Another aspect of the project was to preserve the mature parkway trees, which involved elevating the replaced sidewalks over the root system of the trees to prevent heaving of the replacement sidewalks rather than removing the tree itself. Golf course cart path improvements were undertaken at Glendale Lakes Golf Course, which included a new storm sewer system installation to convey water away from the cart path. Crews installed 2 structures and 150 feet of pipe. Additionally, the crew replaced a portion of the cart path that was necessary to correct drainage issues. The Streets Division staff responded to 14 snow and ice events throughout 2020's winter season, plowing and de-icing 76 center lane miles of roadway and 147 courts. The Streets Division also responded to 38 separate flood control events, including clearing of storm inlets and streams to alleviate standing water on roadways. Additionally, the division responded to 314 work orders throughout the year and completed over 2,900 Julie locates for buried utility services. The Engineering Division ensures the village upholds all local, state, and federal mandates, including stormwater management compliance and erosion control inspections on active construction sites. In 2020, the division reviewed over 200 permit applications, including engineering drawings and stormwater reports. The division provided contract supervision and construction observation for large road projects. One such project was the 2020 MFT road program that included the reconstruction of 3 major arterial streets at a total cost of approximately $2 million. This project involved road reconstruction with curb and sidewalk repair, as well as drainage improvements. Another important road project was the $876,000 Gregory Avenue reconstruction. This project reconstructed Gregory Avenue from the intersection of Gregory Avenue and Somerset Drive to the intersection of Gregory Avenue and North Brandon Drive. This construction also included storm sewer improvements and curb and sidewalk improvements. This road project was paid for in part by a $339,000 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, administered by DuPage County. The village also undertook the $445,000 repair of the large box culvert located underneath Armitage Avenue, east of Glen Ellen Road. Parts of the concrete floor mat were failing due to the high-velocity rushing water in storm events. Additionally, rocks and large boulders propelled by the flowing water were in the culvert and needed to be removed. The village contractor replaced the failing floor of this major stormwater channel with concrete, removed the debris, and performed spot repairs on the culvert where needed. This project ensures the box culvert's longevity and that it is available for use in large storm events. In the spring, the village undertook a $170,000 project to reline the storm sewer culverts underneath Ardmore Avenue near Lincoln Avenue. The existing culverts were failing corrugated metal pipes, rusting in places with large holes in the pipe wall and bottom. An inflatable bladder was inserted into the culverts to line them with a tough and durable resin to the shape of the original culverts. This made the culverts long-lasting and stronger without the disruption and expense of excavating and removing the existing pipes. Silt buildup was removed from the pipe outlet area for better flow, and erosion control in the stream was restored. The village also completed the heavy construction phase of the $875,000 East Branch Tributary 2 channel maintenance project. The village's contractor dredged a section of the creek that was causing drainage problems in the creek. The improvements included stream bank stabilization, dredging, vegetation management of invasive species, and the planting of new trees and shrubs. The project is now in the phase of planting and managing native species, which will continue for the next 5 years. The village will receive $400,000 in CDBG grant money reimbursement for this project. The village's Water Pollution Control Facility, WPCF, processed over 1.2 billion gallons of wastewater this year within Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, IEPA, guidelines and regulations. The WPCF, considered an exemplary plant by peer review publications, has continually operated well above the expected guidelines. The facility was successful in passing the annual Discharge Monitoring Report Quality Assurance Testing, DMRQA, as required by the IEPA. This testing ensures village laboratory procedures and methods meet or exceed the standards set forth by the IEPA. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, requires that a certified operator oversees every wastewater plant. There are 4 levels of certification in Illinois. The village's plant requires the highest level of certification, being a Class 1. The village has successfully trained its staff, and there are currently 2 Class 1 operators on site, as well as 1 Class 4 operator. An IEPA inspection was undertaken in 2020, and the results of this inspection are anticipated in 2021. Past inspections have resulted in favorable comments from the IEPA for the village and its staff for operating and maintaining a water pollution control facility that has consistently exceeded IEPA expectations. The WPCF, along with the Concentric Integration LLC, undertook improvements to the Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition System, SCADA. This included improvements and upgrades to the hardware and software for the influent screening system. The WPCF entered into an agreement with Trotter and Associates Incorporated for engineering services to rehabilitate both of the village's aerobic digesters. The digesters are a vital part of the operation at the WPCF and must be upgraded to accommodate upcoming phosphorus removal mandates set by the EPA. This project is anticipated to start in mid-2021 and has been modified from the original scope to include the rehabilitation of only 1 digester at this time. Future capital improvement projects will address the rehabilitation of the second digester. Through its membership in the DuPage River Salt Creek Work Group, DRSCW, the village is contributing to improving local streamwater quality while saving wastewater utility payers money. Under an innovative partnership, the village is working with 17 other communities to fund a series of waterway improvement projects throughout DuPage County, which continues to prolong anticipated regulations from the IEPA regarding stricter effluent limitations. The Fleets Division has made changes to its heavy truck purchases over the last few years. The division is now purchasing Peterbilt trucks with stainless steel salt spreaders and dump bodies. The division will continue to service and repair over 350 vehicles and pieces of equipment serving various village departments. In-house repairs and maintenance allows for a quick turnaround and lower costs made possible by our 3 highly trained mechanics. Utilities Division staff continued to perform maintenance to the public water infrastructure system by responding to 17 water main breaks, 8 fire hydrant replacements or repairs, 10 private water service repairs, 5 mainline valve repairs, and pump station maintenance. Well house maintenance included a new well pump motor with controls. Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, IEPA, mandated sampling was undertaken. I am pleased to report that all IEPA sampling completed in 2020 resulted in no violations or water quality issues. In-house projects and maintenance to the water system continued with the flushing of 622 fire hydrants and painting of 280 fire hydrants. Water Services Incorporated undertook a water leak detection survey. The survey resulted in identifying 7 leaks, 5 of which were identified as fire hydrant leaks, and the remaining 2 leaks were water main valve issues. Utilities Division staff repaired all leaks found within the system. Preventative maintenance to the village's sanitary sewer collection system also continued. Jetting of approximately 49 of the 72 miles of public sewer mains was achieved. In addition, annual root cutting and degreasing programs were undertaken. Rehabilitation and retrofit of the Payson Circle lift station began in late October, with total site completion to be expected in the spring of 2021. With the addition of smart run pumps and controls, the lift station will run at a more efficient level and provide the village with energy savings. Glendale Lakes Golf Club generated just under 29,000 rounds of golf for the 2020 calendar year. This was a significant increase in rounds from last year, even though there were several golf restrictions in place due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The golf season started in early March, and the golf course was open for 2 weeks before the COVID-19 pandemic hit. The golf course was required to be closed on March 21st, as it was considered part of the stay-at-home order issued by the state of Illinois. Golf courses were finally allowed to reopen in May, but were only allowing twosomes. Tee times had to be every 15 minutes, and everyone had to take their own golf cart if they were riding. This caused a high demand for golf, as this was one of the only outdoor activities that was allowed. Since the tee times were spaced out and allowed for only 2 golfers every 15 minutes, Glendale Lakes sold out of tee times almost every day. Near the end of May, the restrictions loosened, allowing foursomes to play together. However, they still had to ride in a separate cart, and the tee time interval had to be no less than 12 minutes. The demand for golf continued to be huge as other outdoor activities were being canceled. This demand continued for the rest of the year, giving the golf course a great year of rounds of golf. Some of the Glendale Lakes annual events had to be canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. These events were the Spring Fling Golf Outing, the Charity Golf Classic Golf Outing, Easter and Mother's Day brunches, and the final fish fry dinner. Golf outings of more than 50 people were also not allowed under the restrictions. Many of the usual golf outings had to be canceled. However, some of them have already secured their date for 2021, and we are hopeful they will be able to take place. Glendale Lakes continued to be the home golf course to 5 area golf teams. The teams that use Glendale Lakes as their home course are Glenbard North Boys and Girls, Glenbard East Boys and Girls, and Glenbard West Girls. The Illinois High School Association, IHSA, decided late in the summer that golf was going to be one of the few sports allowed. Due to the lack of other fall sports, golf teams were much larger than normal. Banquets at Glendale Lakes Golf Club were greatly affected by the restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The restrictions were more stringent with food and beverage than the golf side of the business. As part of the restrictions, indoor gatherings were not allowed until June. Starting in June, the maximum number of guests indoors was 50 people. This restriction lasted until Friday, October 23rd, when even tighter restrictions mandated no indoor dining in DuPage County. Since October 23rd, Glendale Lakes has not been allowed to host any banquets. During the time Glendale Lakes was able to be open, they hosted 12 parties and 3 meetings while continuing to abide by the Illinois Department of Public Health's COVID-19 guidelines. These guidelines included table spacing of 6 feet, no more than 8 people at a table, and individually bagging condiments for each guest. Staff and guests were required to wear face coverings unless they were actively eating. Even though banquets were limited in 2020, I am very pleased to announce that Glendale Lakes Golf Club has been awarded the 2021 The Not Best of Weddings. Glendale Lakes has won this award 4 times now, and this year we were accepted into the Not Best of Weddings Hall of Fame. If you are interested in hosting your special event or wedding at Glendale Lakes Golf Club, please do not hesitate to reach out to any of our qualified banquet coordinators. The Glendale Heights Center for Senior Citizens was another facility greatly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Many of our members were deemed high risk, and so on March 12, 2020, the Centers for Disease Control, the State of Illinois, the Illinois Department of Public Health, and the Illinois Department on Aging agreed that all senior facilities should close their doors to the public for the health and safety of our senior citizen community. It was a challenging time for our senior members. We would regularly check in on our members to see how they were doing, and many of our members just wanted someone to socialize with. As new guidelines became available, we were able to slowly open our doors to various programming and services, including reopening the Golden Shears Salon, various craft classes, coffee and conversation, and more. We also hosted several drive-through events where we were able to give gift bags and other treats to members as they drove by the center. Even this small interaction was beneficial to our members as it got them out of their homes and gave a little social interaction in a safe manner. We were also able to open our senior fitness center with limited capacity and regular cleaning, and finally offer other fitness classes. We suspended our senior bus transportation program, but we were able to offer individual rides in a village vehicle so that our senior members could still have transportation to important appointments. Volunteerism continued to be a crucial aspect of the center's operations and programming. In 2020, we still had 31 volunteers dedicate over 782 hours to the center. I am also proud to announce that one of our volunteers was recognized by the state of Illinois for her 2019 volunteerism at the Center for Senior Citizens. The Center for Senior Citizens celebrated their 10-year anniversary in August of 2020. Although we were not able to host a celebration like we had originally hoped, the Center for Senior Citizens created a video production and a publication with pictures from the past 10 years, remembering all of the wonderful events and programs we celebrated over the past decade. As the year progressed and positive COVID-19 rates increased, we sadly had to once again cancel many programs. Center staff will continue to do their best to engage with our senior citizen community and hopefully be able to once again offer high-quality programming. The Parks Division is responsible for maintaining over 254 acres of parkland and more than 20 sports fields and playgrounds. They are also responsible for approximately 6,000 park and parkway trees. The biggest project this year was completing the final design for the improvements to Camera Park. We are proud to announce that the village was awarded an OSLAT grant to assist in the funding of this project. Once completed, Camera Park will feature a new handicap-accessible playground, fitness stations, challenge course, splash pad, disc golf, and other amenities. This redevelopment will provide residents of all ages state-of-the-art recreational activities. The project is expected to be completed in 2021. The Facilities Division is responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of all village facilities. They have been instrumental in renovating current buildings and work diligently to provide the residents with clean and updated facilities. In 2020, roof replacements for Glendale Lakes Golf Club, the Historic House, and the Sports Hub Field House were completed, and several additional roofing projects are planned over the next few years. Throughout 2020, there were many challenges for the Facilities Division due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As recommended by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, filtration systems and filters were upgraded to allow for protection in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, HVAC, systems in public buildings. Custodial staff has been charged with cleaning high-touch areas multiple times throughout the day, as well as following all IDPH guidelines to do everything possible to prevent the spread of COVID-19. This year has been a challenging one for the Recreation Division due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In March, the Sports Hub had to close to the public, and all in-person programming came to a halt. To remain engaged with the community and with residents, online activities and classes were offered, including nightly bedtime stories and weekly cooking challenges. Once some of the restrictions were loosened, we were able to start in-person classes as well as softball and basketball leagues. We opened the fitness center and GH2O Aquatic Center with limited capacity. Staff spent countless hours creating plans for reopening with the goal to provide these services and keep patrons and staff safe. The opening of the pool was the highlight of 2020 as we continued to try to offer some of our regular services. We also offered swim lessons and an alternative swim team program. Working with the Department of Family and Children's Services, we were able to offer an essential day camp to those families in need. Children enjoyed socially distanced fun activities along with trips to GH2O to cool off. A haunted trail was held at Camera Park in October as part of Halloween, and a Day of the Dead celebration was held in November in conjunction with the Cleve Carney Museum of Art and Immigrant Solidarity of DuPage. December saw our tree lighting ceremony moved to Camera Park as it was turned into a drive-in event in order to practice proper social distancing. As Santa and I flipped the switch to illuminate our trees, we were met with a beautiful fireworks display. Breakfast with Santa became Breakfast from Santa as families signed up for a time to drive by the sports hub and see Mr. and Mrs. Claus while receiving breakfast and a gift bag from Santa's elves. Seeing the smiling faces as Santa and Mrs. Claus were seated just a few feet away was a great way to end the year. As 2021 continues, we have hope that we will be able to provide additional in-person events and programming. Until then, we will continue to offer safe recreational activities and events, either in person or virtually, as state regulations allow. I am so incredibly proud of the hard work our village board, village staff, volunteers, and the residents of Glendale Heights put forth in 2020 as we lifted each other up during the COVID-19 pandemic. Monthly food distributions at Camera Park, in conjunction with the Northern Illinois Food Bank, have served an average of 1,200 families at each of the 8 events we have held. We were able to provide free COVID testing and a flu shot clinic during this pandemic year. I was extremely proud of our partnership with the Meta Health Adventist Medical Center, Glen Oaks Hospital, to provide the medical mission at home, in which Glen Oaks doctors provided medical care at the sports hub for those residents with no medical insurance. As we look forward to 2021 and new beginnings, I want to say what an honor it has been to serve the residents of Glendale Heights even during the most challenging days. Thank you for allowing me to serve you, the residents of Glendale Heights, for the past 20 years as village president. Please do not hesitate to contact me, your village trustee, or any of our qualified staff with any comments, questions, or concerns as we look to the future. I promise you that we will work hard to continue to make Glendale Heights a desirable place to live and raise a family. We will get through this pandemic together, and I look forward to a day in the near future when we can all once again get together and enjoy all that this great community has to offer. Be safe and stay healthy.